What's up, guys, and welcome back for another Star Trek Fleet Command video. In this one, we're going to briefly cover the Monaveen, which is one of the specialty ships that I picked up a couple weeks ago. I'm going to kind of explain why I went ahead and picked this up and kind of the gameplay loop and the refinery. We'll look at all that stuff. But for the most part, this ship is really good for resources. So if you want to start, getting income for par steel or titanium or whatever, these Texas or Dallas type Texas class mobs are automated Federation ships basically, and this is where you're going to be farming your neural net chips, and that's stuff that goes into your refinery that we'll look at. So there's two different types here. There's ones that are slower moving that you can attack. If you attack them, they will drop your P shield. And then there are the sentries here that will auto attack you. So you can actually auto grind this loop in order to feed the refinery here as well. In terms of crewing, whenever I come out here to auto grind, I usually just throw PMC on. That is Pike as captain, Moreau, and then Chin. There's also automated shipyards. You will run these and you will get shipyard credits. Go all the way down to the Monaveen down here, and this is the refinery for it. Some of these are still on cooldown, but there's not really a whole lot to see here. These will all scale with the tier of the ship. So Queen's Favor, you'll turn basically Queen's Favor into par steel here, and then titanium here, and lithium here. Then you have the automated shipyard, which you'll turn in your automated shipyard credits for rewards, and then the choice selection will get you basically a Queen's Favor to feed this stuff here. So we have neural net chip exchange, which is this one. This one will actually take the neural net chip, which you get off the hostiles. The Regal Geode is what you're going to use for research. Then you have Queen's Favor, which we have already talked about, and then Monaveen parts. So we'll go and do that pull for the day. It's a little slow on tearing this thing up. And then the second one is going to be active chip exchange. As you can probably guess, active chips will be used here. You'll get your directives for your shipyards and more research geodes, and then more Queen's Favors on this one. I usually only have to keep the Monaveen out auto grinding for like a couple hours a day, and it's kind of good to go. Let's go over to our station here. We need to go into research, and I'll kind of cover the research that comes with this ship. So go to the starship here, and then we're just going to scroll down to where all the Monaveen stuff is, which is right past Voyager. Now this is kind of where this ship shines. You get a lot of neat things in here to help you, not just with this loop, but with everything you're doing. So one I've invested heavily into is Stellar Faction Emissary. This is actually your rep. This will get you increased rep when killing hostiles for any of the FKRs. You also have a stretch of research here, which is uncommon, rare, and Armada credit cash. This will actually allow you to get more credits when you're running FKR Armadas, which is great. Then you have station material efficiency. You have research material efficiency, which is great. You have mining speed. And then you have other things that, these other things will affect the actual Monaveen itself. So isolating damage. And this one actually increases base weapon damage for all ships fighting other players. So this is like, weapon damage versus PvP. And then you have isolitic defense here for the Monaveen. And then Undercroft reserves will increase the base loot gained from hostiles. So when you're out there actually killing those sentries and things. And then you also have a research in here that gets you increased broken parts for explorers and stuff. And then also Dragon's Breaths will give you the very first research here will give you warp range, which I try to prioritize too. But as you can see, I'm ops capped right there. And then you have critical fusion impact. This is going to be critical hit damage. And then you have some other stuff here like isolitic damage and isolitic damage to Federation ships. And then also isolatic damage for all ships against player stations. So good for raiding and things. This is the major reason I actually went ahead and got the Monaveen. Otherwise, I would have probably held off for it and just would have gotten it much later down the road and just kind of use it as a pet project. Getting these researches in, especially these efficiencies, especially these faction credit researches, are just paramount when you're trying to like push to the higher into like the G5 economy, because you need to get your Armada Control Center leveled up with cores, and the way you do that is getting more credits and stuff like that. So let's go back out of here. We'll go look at the Monaveen again. The other thing I am also running to is the loot. This is a Chaos Tech that is specifically designed for the Monaveen. It gives me a isolated cascade damage for 3 rounds, and it also gives me more loot with anything with the Texas class Dal tag, and then also get an apex barrier when fighting hostiles as well. So this increases, I max this out. This increases my toughness on the Monaveen. So even if I'm like really low tier, like I am now, like 4 of 12, I can still go up to like 48s and get almost a full cargo with auto grinding, just because of that apex barrier and all that stuff as well. So we talk about the abilities for the ship. The Monaveen increases its base damage, obviously by a certain percentage for the Texas class hostiles. So it is a specialty ship for those automated ships out there. And then other than that, it's got pretty good tank. It's got pretty good shield, and also a pretty good base isolated damage as well. So this ship is actually pretty useful for even doing like Gorns early on if you don't have anything that can do that yet. So let's go ahead and get this guy kind of repaired up, and I'll show you kind of where I'm at for upgrades and where you can expect to. So you'll be using ship parts, obviously, and then grade 4 stuff, at least when you're in tier 4, and then it'll move up into the higher materials. I do prioritize engines, and I also do prioritize shield and armor. I try to. I just haven't really been able to get all the way up there. I'm probably going to be holding ship parts till I get these. Pretty much on any ship, getting shield and hull is going to increase your overall power a lot quicker than just the weapons over on the side. But since this is like an auto grinder that I just kind of put out every day for like an hour or so, I'm not too terribly concerned. It'll get there when it gets there, but I figured I'd just do this really quick video to kind of go over the research and the gameplay loop. The gameplay loop is very, very simple. The other thing to note on this is there is also field training for the Monaveen that you want to work towards. So this will get you more Queen's Favors. It'll get you some lower decks, officer shards, and some of these things in here are pretty easy, like constructing the Monaveen and then getting defeating Texas class supply ships and stuff, and Texas class sentries, and also just kind of like using the refinery. Some of the tougher ones in here is probably this one right here: defeat Texas class and Texas class supply ships. This will not count up if you're auto grinding. You have to literally physically go out there and get the non-sentries in order to get progress on this. So that's kind of a slow mover for me. There's also deal isolated damage to FKR hostiles. This will work with FKR armadas, but I just went out to like a Klingon system and spent like an hour and just stacked like Nurse Chapel and stuff on there, and just did a bunch of isolated damage and knocked it out. This one will actually, this 4,000 one right here will count up for sentries. And then the last one is deal isolated damage to players. So take it into arena, like a few runs to arena. Once you get it kind of, the isolated damage on it kind of built up, and you'll get this one done. But I'm pretty much going to be bottlenecked on this one. But completing all this is nice. You get, some artifact tokens and some officer shards and things. I always try to prioritize the field training when possible. And also this ship is part of the independent archive. So every time you tier it up, before you spend any Monaveen ship parts, go in here and make sure you get the current tier, because every tier you're going to get Monaveen component cost efficiency. So that'll allow you to spend less when you're tiering it up. You also will get a loot increase, max cargo increase, and apex barrier for PvP increase. And once you actually hit the max tier of the Monaveen and you get mastery here, then you can expect to get all of this every day for free. So this will be ship parts, all your RSS, geos, ship part directives, and then G5 materials. That's what you get that G5 material from. Let's go back to the refinery here. You get that G5 material from choice selection. Pretty sure. I can't remember which one it is. I think it's actually like the tier 4 choice selection. I think automated shipyard, you turn the automated shipyard credits in for Queen's Favors. So automated shipyards basically feeds these, and then you all your auto grinding and stuff will feed all of this and everything. But it is a good source for some G5, and there's also a refit for it. If you actually go to, just to kind of close this video off, if you go over here to refits, There is ship skins. There is a Mark II for the Monaveen. Where is it? Here it is. Mark II for the Monaveen. This one's important when you're going into like G6 because this will add Sigma resources and 2 Queen's Favor claims for player 61 and above. And it also applies burning to hostiles at combat start when on the Monaveen. So this is great. It's automatic kind of burning source. And if you're using like Star Path research, that can really help out. If you are going to be using this ship for a primary source of Sigma in G6, then you probably want to start working on getting this. I know this is available in the Alliance Tournament store, and probably a stretch goal after you've kind of completed the normal like loop and all that. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I do recommend the Monaveen if it's not just for the research. It's just one of those ships that you don't have to really worry too much about. You can go out and auto grind and do your thing. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.